So you know how collectively all women across the internet have been like, we choose the bear. Okay, so what's the logic? So you choose the bear, okay, over the man being trapped. Wild. But you're okay with men in women's sports. You're okay with men in women's prisons, and you're okay with men in women's restrooms, where there are women who are vulnerable and also children and little girls. So what's the logic behind?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the desert, where we have a storm, gentlemen, on the desert outside my tomb. And today, guys, you're also going to witness a storm. Not a weather one, but actually a cringe and emotion, drama, chaos one produced by women. So let's get started, guys. And for our latest story, a woman asked the question, do men care about weight? Spoiler alert, no, we don't. We really don't mind or make a difference between dating a woman that is healthy and a woman that is 200 pounds overweight and has her own gravitational pull. We really don't make a difference, but don't let me spoil it for you guys. We'll see that at the end. Now, let's get started.
I just wanted to clear this comment up. I did not take everything that he bought. Everything that I took was mine. So I already had it before I moved in with him, like the mattress, the bed frame, the TV, things like that. I already owned all of that. And so I just brought it with me when I moved in with him. And I also don't really want to sit here and say that he...
Notice how she said I already owned that and not I bought that. Most of these items she mentioned, yeah, probably her boyfriend bought them.
Was a bad boyfriend. Like, no, he was an amazing boyfriend. He provided so much for me. All the furniture in the house, he bought that besides like what I had already brought. He paid all the bills. He owned the house, so that's kind of why I couldn't really stay. But yeah, I didn't pay rent or anything like that. So he was an amazing boyfriend, and we had such an amazing relationship, which is why I feel like it's so shocking that it ended so quickly and so out of the blue. But I guess I'm just kind of in the mindset of like, whatever, life moves on. Like I just have to keep going. Like I can't really just sit here and dwell on it. And yeah, I didn't take anything that was his. I tried to leave with as much grace as possible. I just kind of took what was mine and I left silently while he was at work. I just...
Wow, so graceful, eh, guys?
didn't want to like make any drama out of it. I just wanted to be peaceful. And yeah.
Yeah, guys, they had an amazing relationship. This guy was amazing. He was 1 in a million. And that's why I left silently while he was at work taking crap out of the home. You gotta love it. Now, she doesn't mention the reason why she did that, which personally for me is a red flag. Because usually when men cheat or do something bad, you cannot shut their mouths about it, right? So when they have no specific reason, you just know that the reason for the separation was irreconcilable differences, you know, or the spark was gone, some crap like that, you know that to be the case. And there it is, guys. Now, if you ask the man, he has a different perspective on this, but, well, he just doesn't get to have an opinion. And this is how relationships work, right? You can invest time, money, you can invest your sanity and years into it, and women can just clap their hands and be out of there in 1 minute. Right? So the risk, gentlemen, is not worth it. Not in this year. But now, guys, if you remember in yesterday's video, we covered a woman that was part of a military operation in the Amazon rainforest all throughout her 20s, which is the reason why she hadn't dated up until 30. Well, guess what, gentlemen? I found you another member of that special ops, because this woman also hasn't touched a man up until her 30s. And now at 35, just started dating, right? So we're going to take a listen at her first breakup and see what she has to say.
Hi, I'm Alora. I am a late bloomer. I did not start dating until the age of 32, and now at 33, I'm going through my first breakup. And since I have been sharing all the aspects, all the emotional aspects of what that process has been like, I felt like it was time for another check-in. Seeing as it has been about 2 months since the breakup itself happened. And I will preface this by saying that I don't think breakups are ever easy. I don't, from what I observed, from what I now know, even though this was an amicable breakup, it was still really hard, especially since it was my first ever relationship, and choosing to walk away from something that wasn't bad, but it wasn't exactly what I needed, was incredibly difficult. The first month of that was just devastating.
Yeah, so let me just say that we have a common story here. According to her words, gentlemen, the relationship wasn't bad. Like last woman, she said, oh no, he's an amazing boyfriend, amazing relationship we had, but I walked out of it. Same like this one, right? It's just, what can you do as a man, right? Men, they have this mindset that if they are in quicksand and they are, you know, just full of problems, everything around them are problems, they still find a way to get out of there, make things work, solve the situation, right? Women don't have this ability. And, you know, it's not a problem for me, guys, their nature or the way they are. It's a problem with me when they take it to the extreme and they waste other people's time and money and sanity because of their stupid emotional whims. Now, gentlemen, let's end this story and we'll comment further.
Like, I could not get over the fact that this was somebody who I had spent the last year really getting to know and had come to care about, and I was never going to be able to talk to him the same way again, or like little things, cuddle with him again, kiss him again. I was never going to spend time with him in the same way that we had spent time together in the past. And those thoughts alone, I could not even think, let alone say out loud, without absolutely bursting into tears. It was just so devastating, like, to think how close I had become to this person, and now that was over. Like, I didn't even realize the last time he had been over would be the last time. Had no idea. And I'm the one who initiated the breakup itself, but even then,
really?
It wasn't like, it was something I'd been thinking about for months and months, but it wasn't like I had planned when it was going to happen. It's just one day I woke up and I just knew. So I went to bed crying my eyes out every night for a month straight.
Don't care. Not because I like to see people suffer, but because you crying doesn't tell us anything here. Tell us a reason. Crying is not a reason, alright? If I have a lot of work at my job, I can sit in the hallway crying. That won't make my manager say, oh, Puhidan, you know what? Go home, we'll still pay you. It's like your emotions are irrelevant now. Try to solve the problem. You crying is not a reason for you leaving. Alright? You crying means that you are just emotionally disbalanced. Alright? It's like, oh guys, I initiated this breakup with this man who, according to my words, was a good relationship, but I was crying every night. What do you expect us to say? Like, oh well, if you're crying, then yeah, move out. Well, maybe it was you the reason why you were crying, because you're not emotionally balanced and stable. What's on him, right? It's like these women, guys, are so used to getting attention, validation, and reaffirming thoughts from everybody when they cry, that's her way out of the situation. Oh well, I was feeling unhappy, so everything I did was right according to my mindset. It's no, it isn't.
We're just about 2 months now, and I will say it has been 3 weeks since the last time I cried myself to sleep, which is an improvement. And right now I am just sort of marveling in general at what this next phase of emotion feels like. And it's a weird one for me. It is this process of like unmaking feelings and a connection that I'd spent so much time cultivating. And it doesn't mean that I don't want to still pursue friendship with.
Yeah, guys, she is the devastated one, if you didn't know. She is the victim here, guys. Yes, she broke things, but she is the victim, somehow. Now, again, look, I have no problem with female nature, and women are always more emotionally unstable than men, but good women know how to speak out their emotions, do something about them, channel them correctly, let their husbands or partners know about them, you know. There's no problem with women being more emotional. The problem is that these women don't realize that they are the problem. They always think about their emotions. As she mentioned, right? Oh, what is the next episode of my emotions? And they often leave relationships because they think that the grass is greener somewhere else, right? Always, guys, they feel like they could be happier if it weren't for this man. And they quit that man and soon realize they feel miserable again. And they try to fill that void with something else. And they keep repeating that all the time, not realizing that they are the problem. They are the reason none of this works. Like, they are the one that needs some work to improve themselves and not be emotionally disbalanced. It's not the guys. It's not this guy or the other guy or the 10 guys you've broke up with, right? I don't know how these people don't reach that solution.
With Gentleman Caller in the future, but we had to go, for example, through a period of no contact because it was just too painful for both of us. Like, it's not a punishment. It's not a fuck you. It's really just like we needed time to grieve what had just happened. And now this it's like an unraveling of what we were to each other and figuring out what that even looks like for the future. But first, just being okay for ourselves. That's a weird process, at least for me anyway. So things have started to feel less like a sharp agony and more like a duller sadness, which is sad in a way, but also much more bearable to be able to look back on something and appreciate the good that came of it without like this. The agony of grief is a positive thing. That's a good thing. I feel like I'm relearning how to be alone again, and that is a hard thing to transition to. Like, I feel like I had just gotten used to having someone to hold you at night, someone to call every day with whatever thought, feeling you were having, someone who was there for you in good times and in bad. I had just gotten used to having that person for the first time in my life, and the absence of that was so difficult. I feel like I am now, and that is what I am concentrating on right now, is I want to relearn how to be good being on my own before I eventually pursue a relationship again with anyone. Like, I just need to be okay on my own, which is happening. It gets a little bit easier all the time. I feel like I am having more good days than bad, which is a positive thing. And I am getting more used to just being on my own, not necessarily alone. And it doesn't mean that I'm not lonely, that I don't still have these like glimmers of, wow, like this would be so much better if I was sharing it with someone. And it doesn't mean that I don't love my life, because I do. But like, for example, on Sunday night, I used to spend a lot of weekends with my ex, and I was watching a movie and I just had this, I don't know, like this phantom like ache, like, oh, this is something I would have watched with him. I would have been snuggling with him, and like how much that I felt that in that moment. I've had a lot of people ask me two things. One, was I sure I made the right decision? Because it was so hard and they saw me grieving. And that was a hard thing to read over and over, because yes, I knew, even though this was painful, that this was the right decision. And I feel like that's also a sign that you know you made the right call. And two, I had a lot of people ask me, knowing what I know now, how difficult it is to go through a breakup, how emotionally devastating it is, especially as a late bloomer when you've dreamed of romance your whole life and now you've lost it. Knowing what I know now, is it worth the risk of trying? And I was reminded of something I told Gentleman Caller when we first started dating, in which we were very wary of entering into something like a long-term relationship. So it felt like so soon. We had only known each other for a month maybe. And we were afraid of hurting each other. And I had told him something my mom had told me many times, that it's unwise to borrow worry. It's unwise to go into a situation expecting it to fail. So could it fail at any time? Absolutely.
Gentlemen, sorry to provide no commentary at all. I've just been sitting here watching her with a poker face. But she says a lot of things, but says nothing at all, you know? Try to sum up this video, right? Try to break it down. My answer will be, I don't know, she cried. She cried herself to sleep. That's the only thing I learned from this video. We don't have information what this man was. Well, we know he was good, you know? That's it. Why did it fail? What happened? When? How? Nothing, guys. It's just yada yada, word salads, and I cry every night. That's how you break down this video. She says nothing at all, which is a reflection of her relationship. She doesn't know what happened in it, she just knows that she felt bad. Why? Well, I don't know, but let's blame it on the man. Just in case, right? Let's finish this, guys.
But I do not regret at all the effort, the trying, the connection. I made so many memories I'll cherish my whole life. And even though they weren't what I needed for the rest of my life, I'll never regret trying. I think that's a hopeful thing.
Well, we'll leave her here with her hopeful things, gentlemen, before we move on to the Reddit story. But look, this video was a bit hard to go through, right? Mostly because she said nothing at all. But it's important, because men, they settle down way easier. Men, when they meet a woman that is worth it, they don't stop to think about, well, Jesse over here is a really good catch, but Jenny down the block, wow, maybe she's better, you know? But that colleague at work, maybe she is more traditional, but that other one maybe is more attractive. No, they don't do that. Like, men, most of the times, they meet a woman that they like, and they just stay with her. They don't compare her, they don't stop to think about it. This is why so often you have, like, guys who are rich and successful dating the McDonald's cashier, right? They really don't care about comparing all the time. Women do. And it wouldn't be a problem if they don't take it to the extreme, right? I mean, women, yes, they have this, like, biological incentive to compare men and find the best catch. I get it. I really do. But nowadays, with the internet, with women having so many options, it has turned into this clown fiesta where if they don't get their fairy tale movie where Prince Charming comes in his white horse and saves her from the dragon and they live happily ever after, if it's not that, they don't want it, right? If there's like the smallest little bull crap that doesn't work, they're out of there, right? Like, it's become just a clown show, gentlemen, and it's honestly not worth it to be pursuing these women, these emotionally unstable ones that are gonna leave you for everything. I have so many guys that told me that their relationships feel like they're walking on eggshells because they never know, that they feel constantly under the guillotine, under the threat that they're gonna get their heads chopped for the smallest bullcrap. Right, but do you agree with that, gentlemen? Leave me your thoughts. But now let's move on to our Reddit story. It's written by Omnipresent Redditor, and the title is, do men actually care about weight? No. So she says, I know this question is kinda dumb, but I'm kinda curious. Do men care about a woman's weight? As in the actual number on the scale? Every guy I've talked to asks about my weight, even though they can see what I look like and my body composition. I don't mind the question, I'm just confused about the reason. Like, I have never thought to ask a man that. Instead, I judge him based on how he looks, I guess. I feel like it's irrelevant. My friend and I, for example, have a 20-pound difference in weight, but the same waist size. Online, I see no shortage of comments from random dudes along the lines of, if she's over 120 pounds, then insert negative comment. Obviously, these are just rude people who aren't to be taken seriously. Chat, is it rude to have the bare minimum of standards and expectations? But still makes me wonder, lol. Like, does the weight matter, or just how small or large she appears? Well, leave me your comments down below, guys. Do you care about a specific number on a scale? or do you rather care if a woman takes care of her, right? Personally, for me, I don't care about the number. I don't even know what women weighed, and for me, it's in kilograms. So even if I told you, you probably wouldn't understand it in the same way that I don't particularly know what 120 pounds is like. I think that's like 60, 70 kilograms or something. But the point is, I really don't care about the number. It's whether do you take care of yourself or not. Like, there are women who are bigger just because of the way they are. That doesn't mean that they are overweight though, although they are fat. They're just bigger, you know. They have bigger bones or something like that. But if they take care of themselves, like, why would you care about the pounds? Or if a woman is taller, she's gonna naturally be more heavy. So I don't know. I find this pretty obvious, guys. And of course, you're not rude for caring about this. All right, women care about this as well. But let's take a look at this comment here. I'm a woman, but my experience is that they're quite visual, men that is. So if you look good and not anything too far from conventional standards, it varies quite a bit. I lost 30 kilograms, which I think is around 50 or 60 pounds, and dated just fine before, but definitely get way more attention from men now. Generally, I think having breasts bigger than your stomach and butt bigger than your thighs is what most men of all races are keen on from what I've observed and experienced. I had quite a big tummy that really didn't look nice. It was giving Obelix. As soon as my tummy flattened, things changed. Yeah, so you see, like, men, we are visual. We really don't care about the particular number. We care if you're in shape. But mind you, even when this woman had a tummy, men still showed attention to her. Alright? Now, yes, probably not the Giga Chad with a six-pack, 6 feet tall. Yeah, probably not him. But other men who also weren't that much in shape, right? So, guys, I cannot stress enough how women always have options. They can have an Obelix tummy. They still have options, alright? They can look like Gragas from League of Legends. They still have options. They can be, I don't know. I don't know how utterly disgusting they have to be to not have options. You know what I mean? But guys, we'll leave it there. Kind of a short-rated story, but an interesting one nonetheless. Leave me your thoughts, gentlemen. Do you care about the scale number, or what do you care about? And I'll be happy to see you next time, guys. Thank you for joining me and Ampu. Bye.